Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It's Natasha Zavas here and I'm from Green Secrets Holistic Health Clinic. I thought I'd jump on today to give everyone some tips on how to cope with stage 4 restrictions and lockdown. I'm here in sunny old Melbourne here, so at the moment, of course, a lot of us are isolated in our homes. All those things that we used to take for granted, like just going out to our local cafe and having a coffee with our friends, hugging our families, all those things that we used to take for granted have been taken away from us for at least the next 6 weeks. So a lot of us are feeling quite isolated and, our mental health is suffering. And the statistics for how we are coping with stress at the moment are not good. We are overeating and we're having way too much alcohol. So today I wanted to give you a couple of tips how to support your adrenals through this stressful period. And my number one tip is a pretty obvious one, and that is actually getting a good night's sleep. Now, I know that's easier said than done, and it's not just the amount of hours that you sleep, it's your sleep quality. So how can we actually improve our sleep quality? The next 2 tips are actually my most least popular tips ever. But if you're wanting to get a better night's sleep, it's actually putting down that coffee cup and putting down the wine glass. Unfortunately, I know when we're wanting a quick hit of energy, it's very easy to grab, 1 or 3 or 5 cups of coffee or other caffeinated beverages like Coke or a can of V, for instance, because that has herbs like guarana, which also contains caffeine. The problem with this is, yes, it gives us that short-term kick, that energy boost, but it stimulates our body, our adrenals, to produce more stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. That's not what you want in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, our cortisol levels should be really, really low. And all the cups of coffee that you've had during the day have really stressed out your nervous system. So it gives you sort of the jitters. So if you're wanting to calm down all those stress hormones, it's eliminating or at least really cutting down the amount of caffeine you're having during the day. And whilst I'm on the subject of caffeine, that does include black tea, and even green tea contains a little bit of caffeine. So switch to herbal tea, or better still, some nice alkaline filtered water. Now, the second tip, which again is a really unpopular tip, is putting down the wine glass. The problem with alcohol is, yes, it initially helps us settle down, like we feel relaxed initially. So that's why we tend to have, a glass of wine before bed. But 3 to 4 hours later, so think about 2 o'clock in the morning, our liver then has to process all that alcohol. So it's going through phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification at 2 o'clock in the morning when we should be resting. And the other thing that alcohol does is, again, it stimulates the stress response. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, when we're supposed to be, in our deep sleep, we've got these stress hormones spiking again, cortisol and adrenaline. So even though, again, it's lovely and relaxing to have that glass of wine at night, it's the worst thing that you can do to actually get a good quality night's sleep and actually staying asleep, because our liver will actually wake us up at 2 or 3 in the morning because of that big spike in our stress response. So I hope you've enjoyed my top tips for getting through stage 4 restrictions and lockdown, and give it a go, and I really look forward to seeing how you go. Let me know. Talk to you soon. Bye.